love the Eagles as much as we do, then hit that subscribe button and stick with us at Eagles Nest News for all the drama, updates, and hype all season long. In the evolving landscape of the NFL, the situation surrounding Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys has taken a turn that is capturing the attention of analysts, insiders, and fans alike. The latest update from Adam Schefter suggests that the relationship between one of the league's premier defensive talents and the storied franchise of Jerry Jones may be nearing a significant crossroads. Parsons, who has established himself as an elite linebacker with remarkable versatility and unmatched intensity on the field, appears to be on a path that could eventually lead to a separation from the Cowboys, a scenario that would have far-reaching implications for both the team and the league as a whole. While discussions remain fluid and no official resolution has been announced, the reports indicate that Parsons and his representatives are carefully evaluating their options and preparing for a potential restructuring of his professional future, one that ensures he receives recognition and compensation commensurate with his talent and contributions. The narrative is further complicated by the fact that the Cowboys front office, led by Jerry Jones and his son Stephen Jones, has maintained a historically assertive approach to team management, making negotiations inherently complex and politically charged. Parsons' situation is emblematic of a broader trend in professional sports, where elite players are increasingly willing to leverage their performance and market value to secure favorable contractual terms or even to facilitate a transfer to a new organization that aligns better with their career objectives. Adam Schefter's report makes it clear that the potential parting is not imminent but looms on the horizon, as both sides weigh the costs and benefits of continued collaboration versus separation. Parsons, whose skill set allows him to dominate both pass rushing and coverage assignments, commands attention not just for his statistical output, but for the way he fundamentally shifts the dynamics of opposing offenses. The Dallas Cowboys, having invested heavily in building a competitive roster around him, face a difficult calculus: whether to retain one of the league's top defensive talents under terms that may strain internal policies or to navigate the inevitable fallout that a trade or departure might entail. Suggest that if Parsons does not receive adequate financial recognition before the 2025 season, he will not permit the Cowboys to retain him under team control without some form of negotiated settlement, highlighting a strategic patience and long-term vision on the part of his agents. While the franchise theoretically could apply the franchise tag to secure his services for another year, insiders indicate that Parsons and his representatives are unlikely to allow the situation to reach that point without asserting leverage, signaling an emerging power shift that could redefine how star defensive players interact with team management in the NFL. Adding to the narrative complexity are multiple reports and insider perspectives that underscore the tension between player autonomy and organizational control. For instance, a report from Diana Resina highlighted that the relationship had deteriorated to the extent that Parsons might actively seek a trade, a revelation that reverberated across media outlets and social platforms almost immediately. Hours after this report surfaced, Parsons himself contributed to the discourse through a public post on X, demonstrating his awareness of the narrative and his desire to control the messaging surrounding his professional situation. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are portrayed as navigating a delicate balance. On one hand, striving to maintain a competitive roster capable of contending for championships, and on the other, managing internal dynamics that could be strained by protracted negotiations or high-profile player dissatisfaction. The juxtaposition of Parsons' rising stardom with the operational rigidity of the Cowboys' front office creates a tension that is both inevitable and captivating, reflecting the broader dynamics of professional sports where talent, money, and management philosophy often collide in high-stakes environments. Beyond the immediate contractual considerations, the discussion around Parsons also touches on his on-field impact and how his potential departure would reshape the Cowboys' defensive identity. His ability to disrupt offenses, command double teams, and alter the strategic calculus of opposing coordinators has made him a cornerstone of Dallas defensive schemes. Losing a player of Parsons' caliber would require not just a roster adjustment, but a philosophical recalibration of how the team approaches pass rush, coverage, and overall defensive versatility. The implications extend to other players as well, as teammates and coaching staff must recalibrate roles and responsibilities in response to shifts in personnel. Simultaneously, other franchises are watching closely, evaluating whether they can capitalize on an opportunity to acquire a generational talent, and projecting the potential impact on their own defensive strategies and roster construction. The NFL ecosystem is sensitive to these movements, and the potential ripple effect from Parsons' situation are likely to be felt across multiple teams and divisions, influencing draft strategy, free agency priorities, and salary cap management. While much of the focus remains on Parsons himself, the narrative surrounding the Cowboys is also shaped by the broader context of organizational culture, leadership style, and historical precedent. Jerry Jones has long been recognized for his hands-on approach to team management, often personally involved in major personnel decisions, while Stephen Jones has taken a more operational role that balances financial prudence with competitive ambition. Navigating the intersection of these leadership dynamics with the assertive approach of Parsons' representation adds a layer of complexity to negotiations. The potential outcomes range from a mutually agreeable contract extension to a high-profile trade, each carrying distinct risks and benefits. As the NFL season progresses, the ripple effects of Micah Parsons' situation continue to grow, shaping not only the narrative around the Dallas Cowboys, but also the strategies of teams across the league. The defensive schemes that once relied heavily on Parsons' ability to disrupt quarterbacks are now being reevaluated by analysts and coaches alike, as speculation mounts over whether the Cowboys will be able to retain their cornerstone linebacker. The possibility of a trade, while still not confirmed, has cast a shadow over the team's off-season planning, forcing coordinators to consider alternative configurations that could compensate for the potential loss of one of the most dynamic defensive players in recent history. Parsons' unique skill set, his speed, versatility, and football IQ, has made him more than just a pass rusher. He is a force capable of altering the entire strategy of opposing offenses, forcing quarterbacks to make quicker decisions and often causing defensive coordinators around the league to adjust their own game plans in anticipation of facing him. Reports indicate that Parsons' representation is approaching negotiations with a long-term perspective, carefully weighing every option to ensure that his market value is maximized. In a league where elite defensive players are historically undervalued compared to offensive superstars, Parsons' stance reflects a broader shift in the balance of power between players and franchises. By asserting his leverage, he is not only seeking appropriate compensation, but also setting a precedent for how top-tier defensive talent can command influence over their professional trajectory. Analysts have compared this situation to some of the landmark negotiations in NFL history, noting that the combination of Parsons' youth, production, and positional versatility gives him a rare bargaining position that few linebackers have enjoyed in recent decades. This creates a tension between the Cowboys' organizational priorities, maintaining roster stability, managing salary cap flexibility, and pursuing immediate competitiveness, and Parsons' personal and professional goals, which center on long-term security, recognition, and the ability to continue building his legacy without compromise. In parallel, the league itself is paying close attention to the unfolding developments. Other franchises are evaluating potential scenarios in which Parsons could be made available, projecting the potential benefits of acquiring a transformative defensive player and the associated costs in terms of draft picks, financial commitments, and long-term roster planning. Media narratives have amplified the story, highlighting the strategic chess match between Parsons' camp and the Cowboys' front office, with each move scrutinized for clues about the potential outcome. Insider reports suggest that team executives from multiple organizations have begun informal discussions about the logistics of acquiring Parsons should the opportunity arise, carefully analyzing how his skill set could be integrated into their existing systems. This level of strategic consideration underscores not only Parsons' value, but also the complexity of roster management in the modern NFL, where a single player's decisions can influence league-wide planning, salary cap projections, and competitive balance. While the focus remains on Parsons and the Cowboys, the broader implications for player-team relations cannot be overstated. His willingness to assert leverage is part of a wider trend in professional sports, where elite athletes are increasingly leveraging their talent to shape their career paths proactively rather than passively accepting team-imposed contracts. This shift reflects evolving expectations among top-tier players regarding agency, career longevity, and equitable compensation, and it signals to both franchises and fans that player empowerment is now a central component of organizational strategy. The Cowboys, as a high-profile team with national visibility, find themselves at the center of this evolving paradigm, and their handling of the situation could serve as a model or cautionary tale for other organizations navigating similar negotiations in the future. On the field, the potential absence of Parsons is already prompting adjustments in defensive philosophy. Coaches are exploring alternative alignments that emphasize collective responsibility, rotational depth, and situational specialization, while analysts simulate hypothetical scenarios in which Parsons is replaced by a combination of younger, less experienced players. These simulations often highlight the degree to which Parsons' presence elevates the performance of those around him, not merely through direct plays, but by altering the strategic mindset of opponents. Quarterbacks who face Dallas with Parsons on the field must account for his ability to pressure from multiple angles, disguise blitzes, and drop into coverage with uncanny effectiveness, making his impact exponentially greater than what traditional statistics might convey. The absence of such a player forces recalibration across multiple layers of team planning, from personnel decisions to in-game schematics, further emphasizing the rarity and value of a talent like Parsons in the NFL ecosystem. Media coverage has intensified, blending factual reporting with speculative analysis and fan discourse, creating a multi-layered narrative ecosystem around Parsons' professional situation. High-profile commentators dissect his every performance, comparing him to historical greats and projecting his potential influence on future league dynamics. Fans engage in heated discussions across social media platforms, weighing loyalty, team identity, and fairness, while franchises quietly monitor the public discourse to assess its potential impact on market value and negotiation leverage. The intersection of media, fan sentiment, and professional negotiations has become an increasingly influential factor in shaping both perception and practical outcomes, as visibility and public opinion often influence how franchises approach high-stakes decisions. At the same time, Parsons' personal trajectory, his career goals, brand development, and off-field endeavors intersects with the professional and strategic considerations of his potential departure. Elite athletes today are not defined solely by on-field performance. Their personal brand, social influence, and marketability contribute to their overall value and negotiating power. In Parsons' case, the alignment of personal ambition with professional leverage creates a scenario where every decision carries multidimensional consequences, affecting endorsements, fan perception, and long-term legacy. This confluence of athletic excellence, strategic negotiation, and cultural influence exemplifies the modern NFL environment, where player agency, organizational priorities, and public perception are inseparably intertwined. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Philadelphia Eagles are reportedly facing a major crisis as news circulates that Landon Dickerson, their star offensive lineman, will be sidelined due to injury. Sources close to the team suggest that this could have far-reaching consequences for the Eagles' upcoming season, igniting speculation among fans and analysts alike. Dickerson has been considered a cornerstone of the offensive line, his presence essential for both protecting the quarterback and establishing a reliable running game. The timing of this loss, so close to pivotal matchups, has already triggered intense discussions in sports media circles, with many questioning whether the Eagles have adequate depth to compensate for his absence. Insider chatter indicates that coaching staff are scrambling to reorganize the offensive line, weighing options that might involve untested players stepping into roles with significant pressure. Social media has been ablaze with rumors of potential trades or temporary adjustments, with some suggesting that this could even influence the team's draft strategies for the following season. While official statements remain cautiously optimistic, the prevailing sentiment in these back-channel conversations is one of concern, hinting that the ripple effects of Dickerson's injury could extend far beyond single game. The Eagles' offense, previously praised for its cohesion, now faces uncertainty that could redefine the team's performance metrics and expectations in ways not yet fully appreciated. Speculation within the league suggests that losing Dickerson might not just be a minor setback, but a potential turning point for the Eagles' season trajectory, and experts are dissecting what this means for quarterback dynamics and play-calling strategies. Analysts have pointed out that Dickerson's ability to read defensive schemes and adjust protections on the fly was a key factor in the team's offensive success. Without him, there's an anticipated increase in quarterback pressures and sacks, potentially exposing vulnerabilities that opponents have long sought to exploit. Sessions hint at a reshuffling of positions, with less experienced linemen possibly taking on responsibilities that could stretch their capabilities. The Eagles' coaching staff is reportedly evaluating accelerated training and strategic shifts to mitigate the impact, though insiders concede that nothing can truly replicate Dickerson's unique combination of size, agility, and football intelligence. Betting markets have started to react subtly to these developments, reflecting a growing consensus that the offensive line may be a weaker link until a reliable replacement emerges. Fan forums have become hotbeds of debate, with heated exchanges over whether the team should pursue short-term solutions or trust in internal development. As whispers continue to circulate, it seems clear that this situation is evolving into one of the most discussed storylines of the NFL season, with long-term implications that could influence trades, draft priorities, and the overall perception of the Eagles' competitiveness. The atmosphere surrounding the team has grown tense, with anticipation building as observers await the unfolding of what could be a transformative moment in the organization's strategy. Within the locker room, sources indicate that Dickerson's absence has generated a complex mix of concern and determination among players, a dynamic that could affect team chemistry in subtle but critical ways. Teammates are reportedly motivated to step up in his absence, yet insiders note that replicating his leadership on the field might prove challenging, as Dickerson's role extended beyond physical execution to mentoring younger linemen. Coaches are said to be emphasizing communication and cohesion, hoping to preserve offensive stability even as contingency plans are implemented. The media buzz has amplified the pressure on the Eagles staff, with every decision now scrutinized as if the team's playoff hopes hang in the balance. Some sources hint at discussions about acquiring temporary reinforcements through trade or free agency, though these ideas remain speculative and highly confidential. Analysts have pointed out that while depth charts exist on paper, the psychological impact of losing a player of Dickerson's caliber cannot be quantified easily, potentially affecting confidence and aggressiveness in critical plays. The rumor mill suggests that opponents are already adjusting their game plans, anticipating potential weaknesses in protection schemes and rushing lanes. This layered uncertainty creates a scenario where every snap may carry elevated stakes, contributing to a growing sense of anticipation and tension. As the story continues to develop, the Eagles find themselves navigating a delicate balance between strategic recalibration and maintaining morale, with insiders hinting that the next few weeks could define both individual careers and team legacy in ways no one can yet predict. The ripple effect of Dickerson's injury has reportedly reached beyond the immediate roster, influencing discussions among the Eagles' front office about long-term planning and draft priorities. Executives are said to be evaluating whether current and projected talent can adequately fill the void, potentially accelerating the search for linemen who can make an immediate impact. Sources suggest that this could lead to a more aggressive approach in upcoming drafts or trades, with a focus on offensive line reinforcements to prevent future vulnerabilities. Rumors circulating within NFL circles indicate that rival teams are closely monitoring the situation, seeking opportunities to exploit the Eagles' sudden weakness, while fans speculate about hidden strategies that could be unfolding behind closed doors. Analysts have suggested that Dickerson's absence might affect the balance between passing and running plays, prompting a subtle shift in offensive identity as coordinators experiment with formations and personnel adjustments daily to refine schemes, attempting to minimize disruptions while optimizing performance under altered circumstances. While official statements emphasize confidence in depth and adaptability, insiders hint that the reality may involve trial and error, with younger players thrust into high-pressure situations that could accelerate their development or expose limitations. Betting trends and fantasy football projections have already reflected these murmurs, reinforcing the sense that Dickerson's injury resonates far beyond the immediate team, shaping narratives across multiple spheres of the football ecosystem. In essence, the Eagles are confronting a complex strategic puzzle, balancing short-term urgency against long-term planning, all while managing a swirl of speculation that keeps fans, analysts, and rivals on edge as each rumor adds new layers of intrigue to an already tense situation. As the weeks progress, the surrounding chatter intensifies, with insiders indicating that every practice, meeting, and tactical adjustment is being scrutinized under the microscope of Dickerson's absence. Some whispers suggest that the offensive line could become a revolving door as coaches experiment with combinations to find an effective balance, while other rumors hint at potential mid-season acquisitions to stabilize performance. Sources close to the team indicate that morale remains high, but the pressure is palpable, and the psychological strain on both starters and backups is a recurring topic in private conversations. Analysts speculate that the ripple effects may even extend to defensive planning, as an unstable offensive front could lead to more conservative play calling or influence tempo in ways that ripple across the roster. Fan communities are abuzz with conjecture about who might emerge as the unsung hero of this transitional period, as some young linemen reportedly show flashes of brilliance during scrimmages, drawing attention from coaches and commentators alike. While the official narrative projects resilience and continuity, behind-the-scenes discussions reveal a far more fluid situation, with contingency strategies continually evolving in response to injury, performance, and opponent analysis. The combination of uncertainty, strategic recalibration, and heightened media scrutiny has created an atmosphere where every decision is magnified, fueling speculation about the long-term trajectory of the Eagles season. If these murmurs prove accurate, the absence of Landon Dickerson could become a defining factor in the team's story, shaping outcomes, rivalries, and perhaps even the legacy of key players in ways that ripple far beyond the field and into the broader football conversation. Rumors continue to swirl regarding potential ripple effects on coaching decisions, team chemistry, and strategic adjustments that may redefine the Eagles' offensive identity for the remainder of the season, as insiders hint at both challenges and opportunities arising from Dickerson's absence. Observers speculate that the team might adopt unconventional formations or accelerate the development of promising but untested linemen, creating scenarios where rookie performances could shift from experimental to crucial. Behind closed doors, whispers suggest that position coaches are implementing rigorous drills aimed at compensating for lost experience, while front office discussions reportedly explore tactical acquisitions designed to mitigate risk. Analysts note that even small adjustments in line assignments could have cascading effects, influencing quarterback timing, receiver routes, and running schemes in ways that demand immediate adaptability from all offensive personnel. Fan forums are alive with conjecture about potential breakout players, trade rumors, and even shifts in coaching philosophy, reflecting the pervasive uncertainty surrounding the Eagles' path forward. Social media chatter indicates that these speculations are shaping public perception, creating a narrative that the team's resilience is being tested in real time. The complexity of the situation, fueled by the absence of one of the league's premier linemen, has created an environment in which every practice session, game plan, and media interaction is scrutinized for hints of emerging solutions or impending struggles. If the current buzz holds true, the Philadelphia Eagles are navigating a season fraught with unpredictability, where Landon Dickerson's injury is not merely a setback, but a catalyst for a series of strategic decisions and performance outcomes that could define the team's identity and trajectory for months to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.